Hello and welcome to the Street Crime UK YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Today we look at a case where 14 members of the British element of an international cocaine smuggling network were jailed between 5 and 27 years. Police said the group, who were dubbed the Bling Bling gang because of their high living lifestyles, were one of the biggest drug rackets in the UK ever brought to justice. The gang, whose members were mostly Guyanan and Caribbean descent, had bases in London, Paris and New York, and the gang was reported to make huge profits. Police said the British arm of the gang, who were mainly foreigners whose legal immigration status had elapsed in the UK, had smuggled around £50 million worth of cocaine into the UK in just 2 years. The gang quickly turned the cocaine into crack, a highly addictive form of cocaine that could be sold for as much as 6 times as its unaltered value. During sentencing at London's Snarebrook Crown Court, Judge Timothy King said the gang was part of a global conspiracy, motivated by greed. He said the drugs had brought untold misery and human degradation, and had caused enormous levels of crime in the UK. Crack cocaine with the street value of up to £3 million was being produced every week by the Bling Bling gang and distributed around the UK. The raw cocaine was first brought into the country from the Caribbean by either manipulating legitimate courier services or hiding it with drug mules using passenger flights. The mules were often young women, including single mothers, who had become addicted to drugs and were forced into smuggling to pay off the debts. The court heard that the gang had rented out a house in East Ham in East London as a crack factory. When officers raided the premises, they uncovered more than £1 million worth of crack cocaine in pizza-style pans in the kitchen that was cut and ready for distribution. The gang had used the profits to fund a very lavish lifestyle, buying villas in the Caribbean, property in Africa, designer cars, clothes, Cartier and Rolex watches, along with many diamond jewellery sets. Detectives said they found receipts at the house for goods totalling £450,000 and more than £6 million in assets had been seized under the Proceeds of Crime Act. The British police were tipped off about the gang after 16 couriers were arrested in France. Scotland Yard said that 65 gang members around the world have now been imprisoned, including 17 in the UK, 25 in France, 13 in Guyana and 10 in the United States. A total of 208 years in prison were given to 17 people jailed in the UK. Judge King gave the longest sentence, 27 years, to Ian Dundas Jones, who was also known as Beaufoot. He was 35 at the time of sentencing, from Leighton in East London. The judge said that he was a top player and was most likely the controller of the gang. Mr. Dundas Jones, who's also known as Beaufoot and was also recommended for deportation, was convicted of importing cocaine and manufacturing crack cocaine. The judge said he ran 2 smuggling systems, one with the drug mules and one using a courier from the firm DHL. His wife Sandra, who was 44, was also sentenced to 10 years in custody for smuggling cocaine and booking flights. Bernard Kofi Clark, who was 31, of Romford, Essex, who was described in the court as a principal player of the gang, was jailed for 18 years and recommended for deportation after pleading guilty to importing cocaine and manufacturing and supplying crack cocaine. Mr. Clark's partner, Lisa Bennett, who was 39, from South Tottenham, North London, was also sentenced to 18 years imprisonment and recommended for deportation. The court heard how Mr. Clark and Miss Bennett had acted as the cooks to produce the crack cocaine for sale. Another of the gang members, a DHL delivery driver, Seagun Fisher, who was 29, of Peckham, South East London, was jailed for 14 years. He was found guilty by a jury of importing cocaine and possessing it with intent to supply. The judge said he had willingly betrayed his bosses by intercepting packets to others higher up in the gang's hierarchy. The couriers used specially adapted shampoo or perfume containers, vases, rum bottles, or suitcases to smuggle the cocaine, either in powder, paste or liquid form, into Britain. They would also be expected to smuggle tens of thousands of pounds out of Britain and back into the Caribbean. Around 3 mules would be sent on each assignment, because the gang knew that if one was picked up, they could still profit from the other 2. Tariq Ghaffur, who was the Assistant Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police at the time, described the gang as one of the most significant organised criminal networks involving crack cocaine that the British police had ever dismantled. He said today's sentencing and millions of pounds of seized demonstrates how effectively we have wiped out a significant major gang who preyed on vulnerable people, and we have taken away the profits which they had been harbouring. Thank you for joining us today. What are your opinions on the crimes committed by the Bling Bling gang? Also, what are your opinions on Mr. Dundas Jones being sentenced to 27 years in prison for the importation of cocaine and manufacturing crack cocaine? What are your opinions on Lisa Bennett receiving 18 years in jail for cooking crack cocaine? Please let us know what you think in the comments below. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to like and share. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoy the Street Crime UK content, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you can join us on the next video. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, stay safe.